Good morning, everyone. I offer a meditation on the multiverse. No, I'm not a Marvel fan, but here you go. Sometimes poetry just hits me. I might be walking, maybe, or at 2 a.m. it wakes me from my sleep. Maybe I'm just washing a plate I just used so I can put it back in the cupboard right away. Or maybe vacuuming. Drinking the last bit of glass of tap water, hand washing a wool sweater in cold water, and choosing not to wash a pair of jeans till the next time. It's a blessing and a curse. Lots of half-written poems or single sentences jotted down haphazardly or texted to myself that I end up just doing nothing with. And I aspire to do better, and yet I don't. I am one aspiring poet who finishes the lines and then another that never does. And yet, the poet must be open to everything and everywhere and all outcomes. Not just an evangelist of the things long adored, biased to the ornate words and images and moments of obvious beauty or meaning, things easily tied up so perfectly. In the days far out of reach in this life, the trivial things may be the big things. The big things of today may be forgotten. We just do not know. So we must be open to all the possibilities. And it's hard. Sometimes it is the geography we cannot escape. The way humans see land versus the way a fish would only see water when they look at a map. You look for your place. Hard to see beyond memory and the known and the obvious. It's just easier to be only open to the things of our lucky enough lives and the inevitable sense that everything else is less than. But I do not want to deny my reality. No, instead, I want to be a poet of the amalgam. Not just wild geese and evergreens and wildflowers and grasshoppers and perfect sunset photos captured on my overpriced stupid phone's camera. Those things are beauty. I won't deny that. I seek them here. Please take them and enjoy them. But I also want to be a poet of the worn-out linoleum, the now empty nail holes that held the mezuzah and the weathered door trim, the closet that has not been given its due attention, and that whole "does it give me joy" thing. Be a poet of the eating cereal for dinner alone at the kitchen counter, of the crappy over-the-air television channels, the pile of books that are just not getting read, of my free lunch and food stamp upbringing and Goodwill school clothes and a car that always broke down, of Aaron Copland's fanfare for the common man and New Order's bizarre love triangle. A poet of this gray and cool June weather when I want to be a poet of sunny and warm and shiny days, of gas-consuming SUVs, but also the hopeful space they contain for friends to share the journey with, and the bicycle that gives me health and also sore knees. Be a poet that sees you, those that marched yesterday for young people, those standing for peace. I see you. And I want to be a poet for Bill Clow and for Kathy Clow. I want to be a poet of it all. The lives within lives and the roads less traveled and the maybe tomorrow is another kind of day. The poet of the whole and the poet that is only one small part of the universe and the grain of sand. I want to be a poet of the singularity and the poet of the token. And this month, I want to be a poet that sees the shops that will not fly the pride flags this month. The poet that protests. But I also aspire to be the poet that sees the ones that do, because this is also a protest. Be a poet that remembers as I stand right now in a room of you, does so knowing that many of you gave up a room of thousands and the comfort that it brought in order to say, "We love you," to someone gay like me. and also be the poet that says, I love you to the ones that left because they could not say, I love you to someone like me. Know this to both the present here and the ones that left. I love you, I love you, I love you. I must keep saying it when it's easier not to say, and even when it cannot be heard. Be the one that remembers it was my brothers and sisters years ago before me, those drag queens of color and powerful lesbians and homeless young gay men that found a safe space in Greenwich Village's Stonewall Bar that finally said, enough is enough, when it wasn't safe anymore, tired of harassment and bruises and the darkness that marginalization brings, and that they are the reason that Pride Month is even a thing. Not all the corporate-sponsored Oreo Pride-flavored cookies or the special edition Pride Whoppers at Burger King and those six-pack muscular pretty boys on the cover of Advocate magazines. No, it wasn't pretty rainbows then. It was 1969, and it was darn messy. And now it seems so pretty, and that's okay. It's easy to mock the pride of now and its corporate co-opting. But know this, yes, I will be the poet that also goes to the Target to buy the rainbow t-shirt. I will put that rainbow wallpaper on my phone because sometimes a rainbow-colored Band-Aid makes a wound feel a little more like light. Sometimes being polished in plastic helps you fake it until you make it. And some days it feels like we won't. When it feels like the words well and being cannot be put together. I want to be the observer of the beauty and the messy and the truth and the tale. I want to be open to the past and all its mythology that can form and teach us now, and also wise enough to know that the past is also inhibiting all that could be in the days yet to be. I will myself to be the poet of the glass of day-old tea left on the table overnight, but also the poet of the tea started fresh in the morning, the poet of the letting go, and the poet of the clinging to. It is assuming here that what I say matters. I also assume it doesn't matter. In the end, the multiverse of possibilities may only be a novice poet stringing together words on a page. But sometimes a revolution begins with guesswork, fueled with one word after another, contradicting another. It is this Walt Whitman-like living that makes us whole, and also the thing that keeps the enemies bewildered because things are not how they think it should be. My gosh, this one wild, precious life can feel so beautiful and so damn hard at the same time. In a way, a revelation feels like the destruction as well as a new place to begin. Let it be so.